All right. Well, once again, guys, welcome. I want to really appreciate you being in the after show. Let's talk about, before I show myself, because no one really cares what I look like, let's talk about what you guys would have done had we continued on, because this is the first time we've ever cut it short. We've never had someone win that early before. It's always
Thanks.
Wow.
Thanks.
Never had someone like blow it out of the water. That one.
We've had, it wasn't a blowout. It was just because you got Patton Oswalt. If you didn't have Patton Oswalt,
I know.
let's see. We got Andre the Giant. So this would have been, I believe this would have been Randy's choice first. So Randy, who of you would have picked for this?
I chose Paul Wright, The Big Show.
Yep. He was
Good
in
one.
All the Way. The Water Boy, which I actually saw when I went to spring training. I actually saw them film that one year. He was in MacGruber somehow.
He's been doing acting for a while, and I was like, yeah. Okay, go with The Big Show.
He looks like he's been eating for a while. Look at that.
That too.
That guy looks like he might be in that truck stop with you, Luke.
Yeah, obviously. It's outside the door.
Now,
Hey, you got any crackers in there?
now I know you picked a wrestler as well, Luke. Who did you pick?
So a lot of my picks were based on how I think they would act with the other actors that I chose. So choosing Kevin Hart, I chose The Rock.
Of course.
That would have been
This
awesome.
guy looks like he actually, is an athlete.
I was thinking of him with his little afro from Be Cool.
That's right. Be cool. That
Oh,
was
man.
act. Up
Forgot
until
about that.
just a big guy that could be a bad guy, like he was in The Mummy and Scorpion King. But when he was in Be Cool,
I loved it. I was like, I get it. Be Cool was the movie. I was like, okay, Dwayne Johnson, I got you. I get it.
Well,
No.
let's see who we would have picked, because they had to. All right, Dwayne Johnson. I was looking for Halbert Julius Bjornsson.
Actually, he was on my list too.
Yep.
Everybody, who is he?
The Mountain.
That's the Mountain.
Mountain. I figured we need to get somebody who couldn't speak as well. Like Andre the Giant could barely speak.
Yeah.
Not that he was stupid or anything. He just had that thick
French accent. Yep.
Yeah, that was,
But our
that
guys
was rough.
Dwayne Johnson. So it would have been 4-3. You could have possibly have gotten the double there. That's why if Pat hadn't gotten it, it could have been still close. It was a close. It just because it didn't end well doesn't mean it wasn't close. So let me switch over to the actual camera here.
Definitely felt close. I was like, I don't know about this list anymore. Which is like, oh no. Like, okay, so Hemsworth, here, Brie Larson, Emma Watson, Emma Stone, Anna Sophia Robb, Maya Hawke, Sistine Rose Stallone, Catherine McNair, Molly C. Quinn, and Olivia Cook. That's the order I went through to find a Buttercup. And I was like,
I had to.
there's no way. None of these are gonna pick.
Yeah, for Buttercup, I had to. I was trying to. I caught myself in the trap of trying to put two actors together that they have either worked together before would be funny. So I almost chose Kristen Bell for Buttercup too, but I decided.
Well, you won anyways, but I think
Yeah.
Kristen Bell's Buttercup would have been good.
Yeah. I would have. She wasn't on my list. Like, I don't know why she didn't come up in my head.
Oh, that's why.
But yeah, Hafthor Bjornsson was on my list for Francis Dick too.
Like the Leo DiCaprio of recasting.
Actually, he was on my list too for Count Tyrone.
It sounds like everybody was on your list.
I chose a big list and had to narrow it down, and I was like, okay.
Well,
Like Dave Chappelle was on my list for Vinzi, Paul Scheer, Seth MacFarlane, and I was
Paul Scheer would have been good too.
Paul Scheer would have been a good Fezzik.
yeah,
I'm Vinzenny. I mean,
yeah, but
Vizzini.
and I was like,
So
Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hardy. I was like, no, none of these are gonna work.
if we had gone to the double feature, Randy, which one of you would pick to double feature this?
It really would have how I would like. The first pick was gonna be Butch and Sundance, the Sundance Kid.
Why?
Because they're both William Goldman movies. He wrote both of those movies.
All right, so I could accept that for that reason.
Okay.
But then but that was my only reason, and that's like that's a whole movie guy thing. That's something that normal people don't like know. So it's like so my next pick was Stardust, and I was like, okay, it would be a medieval fairy tale double feature.
I would like Stardust over Butch Cassidy.
And I was like, yeah, that's my second pick, depending on how bad I was losing.
So for me, my first of the two that I chose was the Never Ending Story,
Oh, see, that would have been great too.
because I get the same vibes watching Princess Bride and
It's like the same year or two. It's like 80.
yeah. And then my other one was the Robin Williams Jumanji.
Now I'm
Because
Because you have Rock and Kevin Hart.
no, not
But
not that one. No, it's just because it was the whole thing, the
on a
story
book?
outside a story
now
kind of thing.
I would have had to recuse myself because I'm in Jumanji, the Robin Williams movie, as an extra. So, I have too much emotional attachment to it.
So automatically would have won. Got it.
good to know. Good to know.
Jumanji would not have won. Never Ending Story would.
Yeah.
Have of the two.
Yeah.
So I think you did.
Yeah, that was my by far number one, and I was like, I should probably come up with another one.
Well, let's move on to next week's, to Randy's. You're going to face one of these guys, and one of them. So, Randy, Bri Fry.
I called it like when we started doing the round robin. I was like, I'm gonna face Brian eventually. I already know. It's like because we've done it before. We had a massive like trivia thing, and it ended up being me versus Brian on the table about comic books. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna lose. And I'm giving him like super hard questions, and he gave me like, what is Harry Potter's house? And I'm like, sorry, Gryffindor. And it's like, oh yeah, that's easy. You win. I'm like,
So,
Dad.
with Bri-Fi, you've done stuff with him before. He's a good guy, but he's an odd duck.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, and it's hard to explain him because he's like he's an amalgamation of all kinds of guys. He's a tough guy. He's a comics guy. He's a family man who's a loner, who's also who's a funny guy, but he could get real serious. And I'm like, what are you? Are you a ditto? Do you just change based on who you meet? Because I feel like every time I see you, you change into somebody else. And it's like, whatever.
Well, now Luke, you've known Tracy for a while, right?
Yeah. We've been pretty much in that same Salt Lake Comic-Con FanX convention panelist group for a while. And it's funny because he just seems to be like, when I'm, oh, that's an interesting panel. Oh, Tracy's on it. Oh, okay, cool. Tracy's on that one too. Awesome. So he's very knowledgeable in a wide range of things. So
yeah, well, he does movies that make us. He's got a movie podcast versus Bri-Fi, who does comics. So it's going to be an interesting one because I think Brian is the dark horse in the fact that he might have some of these weird ones that really win you over. You know what I mean? Not that Tracy's going to go with the most obvious picks. He's going to bring it, but I think Bri-Fi might be coming out of left field where all of a sudden you go, hey, wait a second, that makes kind of perfect sense.
I would not be surprised if that happened. I'm expecting it now. Where it's just and for Tom Cruise, we're going to choose what is this? Vanessa Williams? Random.
Vanessa Williams, yeah, that'd be great.
Just random. How did you pull that one out of here? Yeah.
Well, guys, I appreciate you being on the show. I appreciate you taking part of the playoffs. Randy, somehow, like a barnacle, you have stayed attacked and you have managed to make it into the semifinals. Yes. So we will see you, I believe it's going to be August 11th.
Okay.
And we'll find out who you'll be up against next week when we see if Tracy or Brian can fight against, because it might be a Utah-Texas thing. Because right now, one side is definitely someone from Utah is going. We got Patrick Beatty and we've got Valerie Cameron, who used to work together.
Oh, man, that's going to be fun.
So they've got those two. So they're definitely going to have a Utah contingent. So now Brian's going to have to step up to make it really get a Texas flow going. Because I know a lot of people are thinking it's going to be a Tracy Valerie situation. But I wish you good luck, Randy. And of course, Luke, I will talk to you later this week because you are recording the episode of Matinee Heroes when we do the Hunt for Red October.
So excited. So excited.
Great movie. Guys, thank you guys so much. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys real soon.